Hi, everyone, and welcome to Leadership Unleashed. I'm Daphne Walbridge, and in this podcast series, we're diving into quick, actionable strategies for leaders who want to learn on the go. And in today's episode, we're tackling a topic every principal can relate to: how to simplify your leadership journey without sacrificing impact or authenticity. It's all about discovering those small but mighty hacks that can transform the way you lead, save you time, and help you create a thriving school community. Now, whether you're a first year principal or a seasoned leader looking for a fresh strategy, this episode is packed with insights that you won't want to miss. So let's dive in. So today I want to share with you 7 hacks that I bet you did not know would make a huge difference in your leadership, make your life easier, but without sacrificing impact or authenticity. I think we're all looking for some tricks and strategies to help us live a life in flow, to increase connection, and to kind of take away all those points of friction that we get in our day-to-day lives. So today's episode is really about sharing these tricks with you and what I've used in my professional life and how it's helped me just be a better leader and be more present for my staff. Now, I'm still a work in progress, but I wanted to share with you these 7 hacks as we're about to launch a brand new year, 2025. And I thought, what better way to, be of service to my community than by sharing these hacks? So let's start with the first one, right? So the first hack is to simplify your day by automating your routine tasks. Now, people use Google Calendar for this sometimes, right? This is simple. I'm not, sharing anything that's never been heard of, but I think a reminder is always, a good place to start. So, Google Calendars, Outlook calendars, just getting into the habit of blocking off that time in your calendar and automating it. If you can add that the repeat, you can always add that that function where you can just repeat these tasks that need to be just planned weekly, right, or daily. Another thing you can do, and I do this, that has been a game changer for me, is I use my iPhone, and I use the Reminders app. And with that, I ask Siri to just, I dictate in my phone and I ask her to remind me to send an email at 8 a.m. Monday morning to so and so. Right? When it pops into my head, I grab my phone, I dictate into the Reminders app, and that way it pops up on my phone at the date and time I need to act. That way it's out of my head and it really, really liberates that headspace, which is what we need as leaders, right? So that's a really fun. So make sure to maximize your phone. Like, your phone has a lot of automated features you can maximize to liberate that headspace. And I love the Reminders app for that. All right. Hack number 2 is to delegate with development in mind. Now, don't just assign tasks, to take things off your plate. Also, think of it as an opportunity to build skills within your subordinates, right? So you want to be a multiplier. Liz Wiseman talks about this in her book Multipliers, and I've even devoted a full chapter in my new book, Beyond the First Year Principal, which is, it's going to launch in January 2025. So be on the lookout for that. And there's a chapter there that talks about being a multiplier, and that is seeking out growth opportunities for your staff, for your subordinates, to allow them to grow, to expand their skill set. And you can do this by delegating, right? And I walk you through this process in the chapter. So this is another great hack. So you want to delegate with development in mind. This is also going to help your staff feel empowered. They're going to go above and beyond to help you to shine. And it's going to be good for their mental health as well, because people love to be challenged. So keep that in mind. The next hack is to create a decision-making filter to streamline your choices. Now, as leaders, we make tons of decisions every day. We have all these choices. People ask us questions. We always have to be deciding, deciding, deciding. Now, if you're like me and you love to jump on board with all kinds of new initiatives, one thing you're going to want to put in place in 2025 is a decision-making filter. Now, sometimes people say, well, I have my vision, I have my goals, my values, and that's my compass. I agree with that. However, I would go one step further and I would ask certain questions. And I've started doing this. So I will start waiting 24 hours, if possible, before I decide to jump into an initiative. Because often it's like going to the grocery store when you're really hungry and you want to put everything in your cart. It's the same thing with these initiatives, right? Oh, yes, let's jump in. Let's do this. However, if you give yourself a 24-hour window to wait and to just go back to the possibility within 24 hours to see if you still have that same energy and desire, then you might want to act. Something else you might want to do is ask yourself, am I going to feel super engaged and lit about this initiative in a month's time? And be honest with yourself here. So that might help. And also, you might want to ask, okay, who else is going to be affected by this project? Is HR going to be affected? Or my subordinates going to have to take time in the evenings for this? How is it going to impact other people if I decide to say yes? So that's a really, really important decision. So those are filters you can add to your decision-making process. I invite you to choose one or a couple of them and see how they work for you. All right, let's move on to the next hack. The next one is to batch your communication time so you're not interrupted. Now, I am guilty of this and I'm working on this, especially in 2025. Sending out emails when I'm in meetings. Now, I'm not super proud to admit this, but sometimes when I'm in these long, drawn out meetings, I tend to zone out and go check my inbox, especially when the topic does not involve me, right? Sometimes you have such a big agenda that you're not always, you don't always need to be focused on the conversation because it doesn't really involve you. So I'm guilty of this. I'll do like a little side screen and then I'm going to start to respond to emails. And then all of a sudden, my name pops up in the conversation and they ask me, what do I think about this? And of course, I haven't been paying attention. And I feel like I'm, 12 years old again, back in middle school, being called out by the teacher. Now, I want to avoid this at all costs. And what we've started doing now within our meetings is we've started implementing some 10 to 15 minute email breaks where we shut things off and all we do is we focus on emails, go to the bathroom, get a cup of coffee, whatever, and then come back to the meeting, knowing that we've carved a little dent into our emails, right? So we know that we've addressed certain things and then our anxiety goes down knowing that we don't have a huge inbox waiting for us after the meeting. Another thing that you can do, obviously, is block off some time. Remember, we talked about time blocking earlier. You're going to want to maybe block off some time to just answer emails with no disruptions. And that way, you're not going to be, your risk of, writing and having some mistakes or just sending it to wrong people and whatever. You know what happens when you multitask and send emails. It's always kind of a mess, right? So you want to avoid that. And also you're going to cut down your time and you're going to see that you're going to reduce your response time by probably half. So it's a really good hack to just batch your communication time to make sure that you just focus on emails or other tasks for that matter. But I just used emails as an example. The other hack, we're moving along now. The other hack is to incorporate a 1-minute meeting. So we call these TikTok meetings and we have them where I work. And every morning the administration, meets and we have maybe 10 to 15 minutes set aside where we all go through our day, our priorities. We have 60 seconds to 90 seconds to do this. And it's also a way to break down silos, to find out what other people are working on, and to offer support, and to maybe book an appointment with somebody else, saying, hey, if you have time today, I need to consult with you regarding such a topic, or whatever. So it's just a little check-in. You can do this depending on your reality. You can do this only when something, if there's an emergency, or if there's an initiative you're launching, or you might want to incorporate this in your practice, your daily practice. But it does work well. It gives you a chance to see people, to just have a little check-in, especially when you're working on an initiative. Now, another hack I want to talk about is leveraging feedback loops by regularly asking your team what's working and what's not. Now, this is a habit that's great to get into as you start your leadership journey, to set the table, to set the foundation that this is something that you're going to be doing regularly. And you're also acting as a great model for your team, letting them know that this is how it's natural, right, to get feedback. Now, the feedback always needs to be focused on the task, the project, improving processes and procedures, and it's never about the individual. Right. So this is really important. I also talk about this in my upcoming book, Beyond the First Year Principle. There is a chapter on this, and I talk about how they use this with, with the brain trust, with Ed Catmull, and in Pixar, and how they leverage feedback loops. So that's another hack that's really, really important to look into. And I'd like to finish with one last practice or leadership hack. And this one is ending each day with a list of wins. Now, you can be writing down 1 to 2, maybe 3 wins, no matter how small. It's a really powerful habit to get into because it shifts your mindset to focus on progress. It primes your brain to look for possibilities, for growth, and you just feel good, finishing the day by taking some time to consciously go through your day and write down what went well. And this is what we call a high five habit, to quote Mel Robbins. So this is something she would definitely approve of. So it's really great, and it's something that can help you create a really unshakable mindset. And it's important to do this at the end of the day before you leave, because it also helps you set the stage for when you arrive home. No matter what kind of day you've had, you're setting the stage to have good energy for your family and to be present for them. So this is a really, really simple but powerful practice. And sit there and soak it in, right? Don't just write things down and check off the box that you've written it down. Go over it, and even go over your other, wins of the week. Just soak it in, and you'll feel much better. So that is it. Those are the hacks I wanted to share with you for 2025. I want to thank you for tuning in to this episode of Leadership Unleashed. I hope you're leaving here with some practical insights that you can apply to your leadership journey right away, because insight without action is really a loss. You don't want this to be some more learning scraps, right? So my challenge for you is to pick one hack that I've mentioned today and to take action. So it could be as small as, plugging it into your calendar, or reading an article on something that aligns with one of the hacks, or trying that reminder app that I've talked about at the first hack, So do something, don't just sit on this information. So also, if you're ready to take your leadership practice to the next level, then be sure to visit daphnewallbridge.com. I have more resources and tools and strategies there to help you lead with confidence and ease. And you know what? If you found this episode helpful, I'd love if you could subscribe, leave a review, or share it with a fellow leader who could use a little inspiration, all right, to kick things off on the right foot for 2025. So let's keep building this amazing community of empowered leaders together. Until next time, keep leading with purpose and passion. You've got this.